Dream Team, it's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with Ashley Faye Vlogs. Reverse culture shocks returning to America after moving to Australia. I'm excited to jump in and check this out. Before we do, make sure you subscribe, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Let's see what we got.
Hello, welcome back to the channel. I am back in Australia from America. I went home to visit family for a bit, and I really wanted to sit down and recap it because I just realized so many things that just made me really uncomfortable or made me feel really out of place going back to the US that previously never was an issue, as in reverse culture shocks. So these are my reverse culture shocks of going back to the US after moving to Australia. Also, I am not in Hobart right now. I am in beautiful Canberra, and I will explain everything in the next video. But for right now, we're gonna chat culture shocks. I got a coffee. So this trip home, more than anything, I realized how extreme the tipping culture has gotten. So I knew that the tipping culture has become a bit more, I don't know if aggressive is the right word, over the last couple years since the pandemic. Like when I was growing up, I was told like, okay, if someone gives you amazing service, like table service or something like that, 10%. And then as I went into uni, it, with inflation and everything, went to 15. And then post-pandemic, at least where I was from in the US, it was 20%.
Nah, she's not lying, dog. She's legit not lying. Like, you're literally talking about 20 to 25%, dog. It's crazy. Tipping culture here is insane. Before she go into her story, I just want to, like, I see so many TikToks where like people will do like drive for Uber Eats or these like food delivery services or grocery delivery services, and like they bring the stuff to the people, and if the people don't tip or the tip is not big enough, they will legit take all of the groceries back to the store, or they will legit take this person's food that they've already paid for through the app, take it back to the restaurant. Like, bro, tipping culture is very aggressive out here. I don't like it. I never order delivery. You will not catch D Neal ordering anything delivery. I will always go pick my food up myself. But yeah, restaurants, you feel like you just have to tip like 20 to 25%. Like, and I don't like eating that, sitting somewhere and eating out, because I can pay for a whole nother meal with what I'm tipping you, dog. But all right, Ashley, I'm sorry, you continue.
And leaving the US beginning of 2022, I had no qualms about it. I was like, nope, this is the norm. You tip for this. And even going back to the US, because I've been back to the US a couple times since I've moved over to Australia, and it's like stood out to me a little bit, but I kind of just like put off the side, like, you know, I grew up used to it, so it's not that big of a deal. But I don't know what it was this time around that the tipping just felt so out of control. I've never been chased out of a bar aggressively for being told that I didn't tip enough, when in my opinion, I felt that I was receiving zero service at all. I had to go find my own glasses. I had to go find the bottle of wine. The customer gave it to me. And then a random person, I don't know if they worked at the bar, followed me and my brother across the street and approached us. And was calling us mean names. And that's just never happened to me before.
Insane.
And it's really jarring going from Australian culture back to American culture, that's for sure. Like another example is I was at the airport, and it was a self-serve kiosk, and I scanned my own item. I was paying at the FPOS machine, and it was like, do you want a tip? And I'm like, but who am I tipping? I went and I got the item. I'm scanning my item. There's not even like workers like around to like make sure if anyone had any questions or like if there's technical issues. Like there's really no one. I'm like, who am I tipping? Am I tipping the robot? Like, I'm genuinely confused. And there's also so many like hidden service fees now in the US that I experienced and stuff. And I also want to preface, I completely understand that there are still so many industries in the US that are severely underpaid. Well, I mean, unanimously worldwide, but specifically in reference to...
And that's why I feel like we need to put that pressure on the companies and not like berate people for not tipping or not tipping enough. Like, you should have that anger towards your company for not paying you a fair wage, dog. Like, That's what frustrates me. I understand tipping. I tip. I don't like to do it, but I do it. But I feel like I shouldn't have to if I don't want to. And you feel like if you don't now, like she said, people following her and her brother out the bar, calling them mean names, right? People look at you very sideways, very funny, and it's like, why are we always like judging people or judging the customers instead of judging the company? It's insane, but I'm sorry, Ashley. She said she went to a self-serve kiosk and then asked, "Do you want to tip?" She said, "Who am I tipping?" I feel that, Ashley.
Like the service industry in the US, I completely understand. And 99% of the time, I don't have an issue tipping. But I think now it's just become so out of control. And it's really overwhelming. Number two, just the service industry in general is so different. The level of service, like going off the tipping thing, on top of the increased frequency of tipping in the US, I also feel like the service has just gone down severely, like the standard of service, which again, to play devil's advocate, I understand and agree that service workers in the US very much so deserve to get paid more, but also I just feel like in Australia, the minimum service standard, as a result maybe of the increased wages comparatively, the service standards are just so much higher. Let me know if you have noticed that too, if you've been to both the US and Australia and have noticed differences in just like the service standards. Like I commented on this last time I went home to the US, and I think I was just not far from where I'm from in New Jersey, and there was like a kiosk that, it was like a self-serve kiosk at a coffee shop, and it kind of took me aback that the person behind the counter like didn't even greet me, didn't even look my way. Yeah. I was just at like the self-serve kiosk and then asked for a tip, and I was like, I mean, I tipped, but I kind of felt a bit uncomfortable. I don't know, it would have just made me feel a bit more comfortable if you said hi or like looked up from your phone. I don't know, maybe I'm just being like really nitpicky, or maybe we're just really spoiled here in Australia with.
She's not. I feel like most of my life self-service, like here in the U.S., has been amazing. Like, and there's still a lot of times where I go out and the customer service has been absolutely incredible. I guess it just depends what person you get on what day, in what restaurant, in what retail store, anything. But I mean, recently there's been a couple of times where it's been like the service hasn't been like top tier. Like the food's coming out slow, or like the person's like not doing the refills, like, and I understand because a lot of the times now I feel like a lot of these places are understaffed, and so they don't have the workers, and so I don't get like too mad about it because I know the workers doing everything that they can, but they're like bombed with so many tables, or like they have so many customers to serve that it's like. But it's just kind of frustrating. It's just kind of frustrating as a customer, but it's understandable. But I'm going to go ahead and agree with her. I've never been to Australia, never experienced Australia customer service. But about America, like, I am going to go ahead and agree with her on this. Like I said, it's not saying all customer service in America is bad, because I've had such incredible experiences. But like I feel like personally for me it's kind of started to tilt downwards, if you feel what I'm saying. And I feel like a lot of these places are understaffed. Like a lot of these people are like, this ain't it. Like this job, like, it sucks. I'm not doing this. They're severely underpaid, so they're like, no, I'll go find something else. And so I think that's kind of what's happening here.
Genuinely how lovely most service experiences are here. But next up, reverse culture shocks. Cafe culture. Woo! Again, I've commented on this in the past, but the fact that in Australia it is so custom in so many cafes, the barista brings you your drink and you don't have to clean the table yourself afterwards, whereas in the US, most cafes that I've been to, it's custom that you go up and get the drink yourself, and then you bus the table yourself. There's bus bins, and some places even have like sanitizer bottles and cloths to wipe down the table yourself. And also to preface, in the US has a tipping culture as well. So when I first posted about this, a lot of people were like, well, what are you tipping for if you're cleaning the table yourself? I'm gonna leave it open-ended. Please comment below. It's just, I don't know, I just felt like this time going home, it was really disheartening because I just feel so much more welcome and at home here in Australia, and especially as time has passed, going back home, like it doesn't like feel as natural and as seamless as like previous times I went home. I mean, if you want to do like a number 4 reverse culture shocks, like drink sizes.
I feel that's facts. If you gotta bust the table down yourself, if you gotta go get your drink, I'm not tipping in those situations, dog. Like I would not tip. Like I would tip if I'm going there and you serve me and all that, I'll tip. But if I'm going to get the drink, all you do is take my. I'm not tipping you for taking my order. I'm not. I don't care how people feel about. I will cross out the tip line on that receipt with the quickness. But yeah, I don't go to cafes or anything really, so I don't know about cafe culture. I know it's amazing in Australia from so many videos that I watch, but I don't really go to cafes here in America, so I'm just gonna take her word on this one.
The amount of times that I would get a coffee when I was home this last time, and they were massive. And growing up, I had like no issues about it. I was so used to it. Even the last couple times I went home, I was so used to it. And then this time, I don't know what it was, but this is massive. I ordered a small coffee, and it is like bigger than this. And I felt like I was struggling to finish the coffee most of the time. Like I felt like I was half drinking it because the small is so massive, especially for iced drinks. Oh my god. I just feel like so spoiled here in Australia and just beyond grateful. And I'm sure there's like other reverse culture shocks that I've noticed. And I would love to just hear in the comments like if there's anything that you've noticed like going to the US, or if you're from the US coming to Australia, because I do find that really interesting. And you guys know me, of course I'm gonna comment about it, and I love making videos about it, but it's just like, I mean, none of these topics are revolutionary, like none of these are like prime original topics, but it just really got to me and just really caught me off guard, especially getting chased out of a bar, violently yelling and calling myself, Brady, and my brother names because this person didn't think that we tipped enough. Yeah, it just makes me sad because it's like, I understand both sides. I'm just going back to the tipping thing. I understand both sides to an extent, working in the service industry in the US for however many years, how much it does suck to feel like you're doing so much but getting nothing in return, like pay-wise, benefits-wise. I understand that. Obviously to an extent, because disclaimer, like everyone's situation is different.
For sure.
But also, coming from Australia, I'm just like, I love when I go into a cafe and people look up and acknowledge my existence or say hello. I'm not expecting like a red carpet and someone to ask me about my life story, but
yeah,
I love a greeting. It makes me feel so welcome and so comfortable, and it just makes me feel heard. And I just love the experience of going to a coffee shop. You guys know me. And yeah, I don't know, I just feel like I felt like I left the US quite deflated. But I'm back in Australia. I have so much to update you guys on. Yeah, I'm still in Canberra, which is...
Okay. I think that's all she's doing for the culture shocks part. But, man, she's 100% right, dog. Like, tipping culture is really insane here. I don't like it one bit because I don't like the tips. Like I said, I'm already paying for the food. Like that's why I go get. I tip. I do tip. Don't get it twisted. I don't like it, but I do it. But I'll pick my food up and just come back home and eat it because that's money. That's extra money that I could use to pay for another meal or something else. But I'm going to say she's 100% right on all the points that she made, unfortunately. And like she said, I do understand both sides because, like I said earlier, a lot of these places are understaffed. They may not be able to give you the type of service that they're capable of giving because they're overwhelmed with everybody that they're trying to serve. And it would be frustrating. But at the same time, if, like, as a customer, you're not getting good service, then you shouldn't expect me to tip well. You feel me? But that's all we got. Make sure you subscribe, ring notification bell, get the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. It's your boy Neal. Out.